Welcome back everybody, Max here, and today I wanted to cover probably the most controversial thing I've ever covered in my entire YouTube career, all 5 weeks of it. So these are some questions that I was banging around in my head. I saw Westy's video earlier on Far Cry 5, some of the new weapons and all that kind of fun stuff, and I wanted to, it raised some questions in my mind again that have been floating around, and I thought, sod it, I'm going to make a video, put it out there, and see what you guys had to think about it. And the questions are, then they go like this. So, are big YouTubers ruining the Battlefield franchise? Is their influence truly heard by the devs? Is their opinion or ours that really counts? And by that, I'm talking about the large YouTube channels, not the developers, obviously. And should large YouTubers even be involved in the development of these titles? And lastly, is it me, or have the big Battlefield YouTube names already left the franchise for other things and only return when something new happens? These are the topics I'd like to throw out there and see what the real community thinks, not the top 1%. So are the big YouTubers ruining the game? Well, we need to glance back into the past and see the influence that these bigger channels have had. Level Cap, for example, allegedly had a huge influence in the development cycle of Hardline. Arguably, this game was terrible and the community constantly complained that the only changes made were changes he suggested. The cycle was again repeated, this time with the people asking Jack Frags if he thought certain changes would be made, and upon sharing his viewpoint, which often included some of the changes suggested, the main changes made within the game were more often than not his, and I am referring to Battlefield 4 when I talk about Mr. Frags. Battlefield 1 has rolled around and is now well into its life cycle, and now we have the mighty Westy. His controversial opinions on the patches, netcode issues, specifically that one, reviews of the game have often left a bad taste in the mouth of the community. But again, the devs seem to be listening, and so the community looks to him for answers. Now, whilst these traits may seem circumstantial, these guys do have or have had sponsorship deals with the devs, and so their criticism of the new maps or game reviews, although sounding genuine, always made me, I don't know, I just felt it was a little soft or fluffy in its approach, like they didn't want to upset somebody's feelings, you know. Of course, they are in this to make money, and for them it's a full-time job, and the same for the devs as well. They're out there to sell titles. But where does that leave us, the people that actually buy the game? You know, so do they really have any influence? Well, in a nutshell, of course they do. These guys have 5 million plus subscribers between them, and the devs will look to them to see what is being said. However, 5 million voices can't be heard, so they only listen to one, and that is the voice of the YouTuber. The larger channels cannot possibly read all their comments, so interject their own opinion with a gloss of what they have read from a few comment feeds, and this of course is not popular opinion, but usually the views of a couple of guys who regularly post and share a similar view with a YouTuber. Which leads to the question, should they actually be involved in the first place? Should the devs be looking at the forums more and refraining from listening to these huge channels? If they truly want community's opinion, then they should surely be listening to the communities, not large YouTube channels. My channel has grown at a tremendous pace, and I'd like to think it's because people see that at least one person is trying to bang a collective drum. Now, I'm not always right, and of course, I've got my own views, but I try very hard to share on YouTube a general idea of what people want without tainting it with my own view. This leads me to the final point. Whatever happened to the big channels? Jack Frags, Level Cap, Matimo, X Factor, and even Westy seem to have left the franchise and only return when DLC drops or there is a new patch. The new community still looks to them for answers, for fixes for the game, as does the older community, and they're nowhere to be seen. The information in my videos, the information that they're putting out in their videos is becoming weaker by the minute, and the view counts are only propped up by their huge sub bases. I, for one, am guilty and look at them for information too, but as time has gone by and my channel is growing, I find myself less dependent on their information and more upset with the lack of support from both them and DICE. The loyal fans of the franchise still want to be entertained and still need the information. So thanks for leaving, guys. You've really helped me. And when I say leaving, I am referring to the likes of Mr. Frags, Level Cap, X Factor, and the mighty Westy. As a committed fan of the game and the franchise, I will continue to bring news, reviews, and information as often as it comes. Now, E3 is coming this Saturday, the 10th of June, so you can expect them all back on the bandwagon. Please share your views in the comments down below, guys. I really am genuinely interested to see what you guys have to say, how much emotive passion, state, whatever you want to call it, this video actually stirs up. It is about the community. This channel is about the community. I'm about the community, and I really want, as much as I want my channel to grow and I want it to be big and all the rest of it, I have a passion for this game, I have a passion for this franchise, and I have a passion for the community that I really feel, especially with this title, is not being heard and is just being glossed over by larger YouTube channels spouting their mouths about things they don't understand, and certainly leaving the console players and that particular market left all behind. Leave your comments down below. Would love to read them. Hope you like the video, and I'll catch you in another video later on this week. I'll see you in the next one. Ta-da.